We were straight up in the eye. Dude, that's so wild. Whoa, the whole roof folded over. Hatteras is deep, Frisco's deep. Wow.
It's a brand new bit.
You guys are such a big help. All right. You can hand me 2 screws, too. Love my little hurricane helpers. Well, folks, welcome back. Unfortunately, not under the best circumstances. We've got Hurricane Dorian, which I told you about in the last episode, about 100 miles off South Carolina, and it is coming right this way. We're pretty much, Hatteras is gonna get hit. Where we get hit is the question. There's a couple paths, and the way this island's shaped, it'll be affected differently. If the eye comes from like the southwest and rides up the south end of the island, we're gonna get a lot of swell on the south beach, followed by northwest winds behind it. So that swell could wash out the dunes on the south beach, and then the sound tide could flood back. It's kind of worst case scenario right now. Our best case scenario is, as sad as that is, I don't wish this on anyone, but the best case scenario for Hatteras Island is if it made landfall south of us and stayed kind of inland. The flooding would then be focused from Avon to Rodanthe and up in Nag's Head and stuff. Likely not as severe as what would happen on the south end in the opposite scenarios. This morning, with things kind of getting a little more intense and more likely, I boarded up some extra windows. I tied down my shed. Just gonna go get some ice, fill up the ice mules so that if we lose power, we can just take all our stuff out of the fridge and freezer and keep it well. And yeah, I'm gonna take you all through the ride of what this is like. Drive around with my family now and just kind of document the ghost town that this place is, because we've had a mandatory evacuation for visitors and residents, and there's not many people here. It's pretty wild. But the one thing I love about this place, every single person I've ran into today, how are you doing? Are you ready to go? Do you need any help? This community is like no other. This is something we deal with yearly almost, if not at least bi-yearly. The heart behind all these people, the character that gets built into somebody living here and weathering these storms is special. I couldn't be more thankful to live where I do. We might get hit by these things, but the houses here are built to withstand it, and the people's hearts are just as strong, if not more so. So it just gets me in the feels. But welcome back. Here we go. We batten down the hatches. Time to ride her out. Welcome to the next morning. The eye wall of Hurricane Dorian is here. It really isn't too bad so far. This is gonna be a flood event, not a wind event for Hatteras Island. But all the wind meters show like 55 to 75 mile an hour winds, which for here is kind of standard. But the eye is just offshore of us. It's about to come over Hatteras, and I think we're gonna go right through it. So this will be pretty interesting to see.
And Dad, is this what it's like during a hurricane? I've never been awake during a hurricane.
I know, they always happen at night, huh? Good morning. Just unloaded right there. So it appears we're pretty much in the eye of Dorian right now. The storm has downgraded, which has been fortunate. As it came towards us, our internet is spotty, so I haven't been able to like look in depth. I mean, things have calmed down. About 30 minutes ago, it was just unloading like over, I don't know how hard the wind was blowing, but tree limbs down, just gutters blowing around, and now it's calmed down. It's blowing like 15 to 20. It is getting eerily quiet out here though now. It's pretty wild. Welcome out into the eye of Hurricane Dorian. You guys are in the eye of the storm. It's pretty crazy, huh? Wasn't it blowing super hard?
You remain in control. In the middle of the war, you got my soul.
As the eye comes, it goes from blowing one way to the complete opposite. So the current wind that had been blowing all day out of the southeast and east southeast is what blew the sound water out. And this wind switch is gonna blow it all back. That's not what you want. Blue skies, y'all. No way, that's crazy. We're straight up in the eye. Well, I think it's safe to say we got a direct hit. Dude, that tide, you can see the sound. Look, if you come right here, you can see the bottom. It's still bottomed out. Look at all the birds. Dude, that's so wild. No way. Oh, look at the rainbow. Hey, look at the rainbow. See y'all after this thing passes.
Yeah, that can hit a couple of balls.
Okay. Well, playtime is over. Lasted like 20, 25 minutes or something. We can feel the wind starting to come around out of the north, which like I told you, it was coming out of the southeast earlier. As we come to the backside of this eye, it's gonna blow northwest hard. And it's starting to come, it's starting to rain, it's getting darker. The eye is officially gone, and it's time to get back inside and hunker down until this thing's over. This is the bad part. This is the part where Ocracoke and Hatteras and Frisco and Buxton are gonna see serious flooding. So here's to hoping something weird happens and it doesn't blow as hard as it's supposed to. All right, here we go. Oh, it's getting real quick. We haven't had service in a while. The last text I got was that Ocracoke was flooding really bad. So the same thing's gonna happen to Hatteras and Frisco and Buxton. Wow! Whoa, that's legit right there. You can hear it coming. Oh my God. This is so much worse than the other side of the storm. For anyone wondering, I'm in here tucked up in this corner of my house that's protected from the northwest wind, so don't worry, I'm not endangering myself by being outside. This is crazy. I can only imagine what's happening on other parts of the island, and it is just killing me to not be able to contact anyone. split over. Subsiding came off. Hatteras is deep, Frisco's deep.
Wow.
Dude, this is crazy. Yeah, out the back.
Yeah, you're actually way.
That's our high school's football field, baseball field. I tell you what, ain't that the truth? Over the hurricanes. Jeez. Following my dad and my neighbor down here to check on the boathouse. We got waves. Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious. Crab pots just went flying by. That boat is getting so smoked. Alright, time to get back to the house. Y'all, this will be one of the worst ones we've had. Any of them that flood are bad, but this thing has just done some serious damage from Ocracoke to Buxton. I heard the tide's coming up in Avon, so I mean, there's water in my sister-in-law's gym, there's water in my friends' homes, there's water in their businesses. It sucks. It just does. But homes can be rebuilt, cars can be replaced. Human lives, on the other hand, I haven't heard of any casualties, so that's like the praise. And as long as everyone's safe, we'll all band together and get it cleaned back up. It's just so frustrating. And I'm fortunate enough to live where I do and be protected from the water. Got a lot of friends and family that will need some help, but I'm just keep waiting and see what happens. Hopefully this thing gets out of here so we can all move on. Hurricanes are not cool. Being in the eye was the coolest part. I mean, that's just a weird wonder of nature to be able to experience that, but I'd rather never experience that. Well, tide's finally gone down.
Yep, you can see the tide line here.
I can't believe this is all still flooded. The water's taking forever to go down.
Well, morning everyone. It is the day after the storm. It's beautiful. We're here at my house. Tree limbs down. Not a tree limb down. Check this out though. Thanking the Lord that it didn't land on our home. This whole thing, this chunk right here split and went that way. Missed the corner of our house. Honestly, that's all the damage here at my house. And we're fortunate for that. But the rest of the island, not so much. We're gonna try and keep this quick. Cape Hatteras and Ocracoke saw some, some of the worst flooding. One of the top few storms we've ever been hit by. A lot of damage, a lot of flooded homes, a lot of flooded businesses, a mess of debris. All that soundside seaweed and sticks and just so much stuff everywhere. So there's a lot of cleaning up to do. I heard the waves last night got good at the lighthouse. I did not go out there because yesterday after the storm went by, assessed some damage and then went and helped my sister-in-law at her gym, which got flooded. And then came home, got the generator hooked up, and just didn't have time to go check it. I was also whooped and didn't really care. But I did go to give it a look this morning. The lighthouse is currently blocked off. You can't drive all the way there. My friend Cash Barris told me if it was higher tide, it would have been firing, but it was too low, so he was gonna come back, but then the wind came up onshore. So I'm just writing surfing off. I'm gonna try and get the boards off these windows now, just tidy up around here real quick before going and helping people. A lot of ripping out just carpet and flooring and drywall and bleaching things so that mold doesn't grow, because that salt water just gets nasty. So time to get to work. Not sure when I'll catch y'all up later, but a lot to be done. See you then.
The day after the storm was beautiful and allowed solid progress to begin in the cleanup and relief efforts needed in the wake of Hurricane Dorian. But that was only day one, which was just the beginning of a long road to recovery. The first order of business after assessing damages is to drain the water out of homes. Crews form in many different ways, but all with the goal of draining water from flooded homes, cleaning out personal items, and ripping out interiors to get ready for disinfecting. While the island is still under evacuation, everyone works fast to get as much done as possible before visitors are allowed back and locals have to return to work. But because the island is on lockdown, getting supplies down can be difficult. So locals and businesses collect donations from off island and transport them to volunteer fire stations. Our fire stations are the hub for relief efforts, where people sign up that need help and others sign up to lend help. The Salvation Army serves free food, and a local flea market is set up for those who've been affected by the storm and need supplies. Over the coming weeks, homeowners and volunteers will clean out mold from homes that has grown due to the moisture left behind from the flood. This whole process of ripping out homes and cleaning them continues home by home until the job is done. Piles grow day by day on the side of the road, comprised of storm debris, building materials, furniture, appliances, and saddest of all, personal belongings. People's lives are flipped upside down and left on display for all to see who drive by. It's definitely an overwhelming feeling as you watch the piles grow, and at this point in the recovery stage, the island is back open for business, so visitors are out driving around amongst it all. This is the most trying time for the local community, but as I said earlier, the people here are a special breed and continue to persevere through the most difficult situations this island ever faces. You know, as devastated as we were here, Ocracoke Island is even worse off. Hatteras Island locals flocked to Ocracoke on boats to help with relief efforts for weeks on end. Even though their own towns here had taken a beating, they went over there to help. That's a special kind of love right there, and one that speaks volumes to the community here. A community that continues to rise to the top of whatever it faces. But that doesn't mean that we don't need help, and it doesn't mean that we do it all on our own. I can't even begin to name off every person, organization, or company that made a huge difference. But to anyone out there that donated money, supplies, or your time, I personally want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because we really needed it and you guys made a difference. It'll be a long time before locals who got flooded get back to normal, and I'm completely at a loss for words to try and explain Ocracoke's situation. 2 months after Hurricane Dorian hit, and they're still under evacuation orders, and they got denied FEMA personal assistance. Even though the entire town got destroyed, there's not enough people there to meet FEMA's threshold to lend help. So please pray for the people down there, and if you feel the desire to help, there are links in the description for you to help in different ways. There are specific ways to help Ocracoke right now, but if you donate funds, the link in there, you can send it to either Ocracoke or Hatteras, wherever you want to go. There's organizations here who help the locals in keeping the lights on throughout the winter and helping the rebuild process. So your funds are going to go to the right place. I can guarantee you that. Hurricanes are just awful storms, honestly. But in spite of the destruction they cause, they really do bring people together in special ways. Though this is one of the worst storms we've ever had, it isn't our first, and and it likely won't be our last, unfortunately. But the people here are strong. We choose to live here for a reason that's much greater than these storms, and I couldn't be more proud to call this place home.